Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit more today about some cold approach stuff. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the indicators of interest. Let's say that's what the pickup community calls it. This is all old terminology, let's say, and I don't like to think about this stuff at all anymore in this sort of light. I mean, I just want you guys to start thinking about this as normal human stuff. This is just normal, average, everyday perceptive abilities that you need to develop when you're out there cold approaching women, if you're going to be more effective, or you're going to be able to play the strategy that I'm always telling you guys to play, and that is to only make offers in the situations where you're getting good, positive, receptive energy back from a woman, and just walking away and not making any offer in the cases where you're getting bad, non-receptive energy. And that's part of learning to perceive and detect these sorts of, like we said, indicators of interest, or just like the way that I put it, the good energy versus the bad energy from women in these situations is like I said, just learning to think in real time a little bit more critically and just analyze the situation. I know that is one of the hardest things to learn to do, because so much of our brain efforts go into just trying to interact, break the ice, maintain a conversation, all this kind of stuff, that it can, as weird as it sounds, like be hard to take a small second in your brain and just think about the whole overall picture and make an analysis and make a judgment. But it's something you'll get better at doing the more you do this stuff. You'll learn to read these sorts of things more readily as you progress along. But I was thinking through my mind, and I think this is a good educational piece, because a lot of you guys out there, of course, are wondering, like, well, what are the signs? How will I know this sort of thing? What does this look like? So I just came up with a small list in my mind, and this is just an off-the-cuff thing, but I'll detail each one of these things a little bit to you guys. The very first and foremost one is proximity, let's just say, in the sense where the woman is still standing there. She's still in front of you. She is not making a beeline to try to exit the situation and get the hell away from you as fast as she possibly can. That certainly happens to all of us, no matter how good looking of a guy you are, no matter how sound your approach is, no matter how awesome, you're going to find these situations where sometimes people just don't want to talk, or they immediately know what you're up to right away, and they have no interest in entertaining that moment at all. And that's totally fine. You let them walk away, of course. But first and foremost, if a woman is continuing to maintain herself and her presence, like in your proximity, that is first and foremost the very biggest thing that I can tell you. That is a good initial positive read on the energy, right? She's still standing there. Okay, very obvious one. The second one that I think of is the quality, let's say, or the ease at which the conversation flows after you break the ice, after you figure out that, yes, she's still standing there, yeah, she's smiling a little bit, she's hanging out. If the conversation is very choppy and she's not participating, and it's just like you're kind of grinding two gears against each other, and it's not just working itself through normally, naturally, and just progressing on a regular sorts of conversational pace, let's say, where new things are coming up and being talked about easily, effortlessly. Like we said, she might be asking you questions, or at the very least, she's answering your questions in an intelligent, thoughtful, like participative manner, not just giving you these like one-word answers, right? Like, think about the quality, let's say, of the conversation that you're having with this person. Is this a nice, fun, what I would perceive to be like a normal conversation that you would have with your friend, let's say, perhaps? Or is it, like I said, is it this jerky, like unnatural, awkward sort of conversation that's going on? Okay, that's a very big cue as well of positive energy, if it's going in that easy sort of fashion, let's say. And then the other things I think are a little bit more subtle, and these also take time and experience of just kind of seeing these things. And like I said a moment ago, in the very beginning, you're so focused on just trying to conversate and just, like we said, trying to make the approach, trying to do all that stuff, that a lot of times you'll miss these things. But fidgeting is a very big one, right? If you see her playing with her hair, maybe, or a lot of times, like, people will fidget with maybe something in their pocket or their purse, or just like something in her hands. Like, you'll start to detect like these little hand things that people do when they get like a little bit nervous, and nervous in the sense of like maybe she has butterflies in her stomach. Maybe she's like excited by the fact that you approached her and you're there and it's actually going good and she's actually attracted to you, and this is actually like a cool, fun experience for her. That's a big one. So these little fidgeting cues. Body language is also very important, like the way that she's facing you. If her shoulders are squared up directly to your body and she is completely, fully, frontally facing you, that is a very good cue as well. That is positive, open, receptive human energy that people are going to show you and exhibit it to you. And think about that also, guys. When a woman is trying to get away and trying to walk away from you, like look at the geometry of where her shoulders start to lean. Like they physically start to lean away from your body. She starts to like lean out of the conversation a lot of times. She's physically repositioning her body to try to get away. And that's, once again, the time when you leave with grace, you let it go, you don't make your offer, you let the moment pass, and you walk away. So that's another a big one that I could think of. And I'm trying to think of even more subtle than that. I don't really have anything else, I guess, to share at the moment. Those are probably the biggest ones that I could think of, like right off the top of my head. And the last one and this isn't really like a subtle one, but it's like a dead giveaway. I mean, if she starts to it's kind of funny the way I've seen some of these situations pan out sometimes, where it's like you're the one making the advancement in the very beginning. And this is kind of a rare thing, but on the back end, after you've kind of done your job, you've approached, you've made a cool, casual, nice conversation happen in that moment. You've brought some smiles out of her. I guess that's another big one that I should make mention of is eye contact and smiling back at you. Those should be kind of obvious to you guys, but I don't really think you need much explanation on that. But I was just finishing up talking about how, ironically, sometimes the situation can change and evolve, like even in real time in that moment, where it's like I was saying a moment ago, like you did the initial advancements and you made your move, and on the very back end of it, she actually makes a move on you. So she might say something like, hey, like, can I, like, let's exchange numbers, or let's, like, it'll be cool to see you again, or something like that. Not the thing that happens all the time, but it can happen. And that obviously as well is a dead giveaway, like no surprises there. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps you a little bit out there when you're doing this stuff. Keep trying to pay attention to these cues. I know it's hard in the beginning, but the more you do this stuff, the better you're going to get at perceiving these signs, okay? All right, guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.